All right, well, now that you have the basics down on how to solve an algebraic equation, the next step is let's put a little bit of real life into some of these things. So we're going to take some different situations that are described on your paper that you have in front of you and write an algebraic equation and then solve it to figure out what we're missing. So if you remember, every equation is just, it's like a little puzzle. All you're trying to do is figure out what is the value of that missing number, which is the variable. So let's take a look. I'm going to do the first one with you, and then you are on your own. All right, so let's start with the first one. It says, Bill purchased 4 pens for $3.32, including 16 cents sales tax. Find the cost of 1 pen. So on each of these, I've set up 2 things for you. First, you need to write out what does the variable stand for. And I mean write it out in words. So that variable is going to stand for whatever it is that you're looking for. So in this case, the question is asking us to find the cost of 1 pen. So the most obvious thing for P, I said P, the obvious thing for P to stand for, in this case, would be the cost of 1 pen. So let's fill that in. P is going to stand for the cost of 1 pen. All right, so now we have to start using a little bit of logic and some common sense here to figure out how do we put all these numbers together. Well, I know, first of all, he bought 4 pens, and he had to pay sales tax on top of that. So whenever you pay sales tax, that means that's the amount of money being added onto the total cost to figure out what you actually have to pay. So the amount he paid total was $3.32. So I know that's my total. I'm going to put it over here on the right-hand side and put an equal sign here. Okay, then the next part is he paid for 4 pens, and we're assuming that all these pens are exactly the same, which means they all cost the same amount. So if I know that P is the cost of 1 pen, then if I wanted to figure out how much 4 pens cost, well, I would take 4 times the cost of 1 pen. So in this case, I would say 4 times P. That's going to be the cost of 4 pens. Now, the only thing we haven't used here is the sales tax. That's another important piece. So on top of the 4 pens that you paid for, you also have to pay 16 cents in sales tax. So I know just from buying things that they add that on at the end. So I'm going to add that on to the end here. So my equation is 4p plus 0.16, or 16 cents, is equal to $3.32. I used all the information. There's nothing missing, and it makes sense. So now I'm going to solve it. So we're going to split it down the middle. And my goal is to get this little guy, isolate that variable, to get that variable all by its little lonesome on this side of the equation. So we have to do our order of operations backwards. So since they are multiplying and adding, there's multiplication and addition, we do the exact opposite. We are going to divide and subtract. Now, order of operations would normally say divide first, then subtract. But remember, rebellious teenagers, we don't take that. We say, no way, and you do the exact opposite. So we're going to do order of operations backwards too. So that means we start with subtraction. How much do we subtract? Well, however much they're adding. They're adding 0.16, so we're going to subtract 0.16 from both sides because an equation is a balance. Okay, now over here on the left, if 0.16, that's a positive 0.16, and we take away 0.16, that means there's nothing left. The only thing that's left on this side is 4p, so you have to bring that down. Next, we have $3.32 minus 16 cents. I know that's going to be $3.16. All right, so this subtraction is done. Now we have division, so since they're multiplying by 4, we are going to divide by 4. And then I get P over here, and that's going to equal, I don't know, let's divide it out. Bring my decimal point up. 3 goes into 31. Let's see, 7 times 4 is 28. Subtract, there's 3 left over. Bring down to 6. 4 times 9 is 36, and that goes evenly. So I have an answer of 79 cents. And there you go. P is equal to 79 cents. So the cost of 1 pen is 79 cents. So if you were to double check that, you would take 4 times 79 cents, add 16 to it, and you should get $3.32. So there you have it. It's just that simple. So don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. Just read what you have, put it all, identify what your variable is in each situation, write out your equation, and solve it. All right, you're on your own from here on out. Good luck. See ya.